Hello, welcome. We have another Q&A with the creative team, this time behind the music video. It's the song Priorities by Helium Shelium. We're going to find out all about them, but first let me have the participants introduce themselves. Why don't we start with the lovely Zoe Kelly?
Oh, Zoe Kelly isn't here.
Oh, well, that's what the name says. I only go by that.
I think you got the projects confused.
Well, Zoom doesn't lie, and Zoom says Zoe Kelly is here.
My name's Elliot Norton, and I did video for this.
And then Chuck?
Chuck, I'm the host of Treasure Valley Podcasts, and I recorded the audio of
Nice.
Priorities during the performance.
Our performers.
So my name is Ari, and I play the guitar for Helium Shelium, and then I also sing.
And I'm Rocky, and I play all the other noises.
And I gotta say, it's one of the most impressive guitars ever recorded on video, and it's going to be out there for centuries, for millennia. So it was very impressive guitar. I encourage everyone who's watching this to check out the guitar because it is amazing. Well, all of it's amazing. I think what struck me as really, well, I'll let you talk about kind of the goals that you have for this series, but more importantly, I felt like it was a really the sound quality was really amazing. Like it sounded really, really good. And then for a limited studio space, you know, it was visually very interesting. I mean, it's a longer music video. It starts out with quite a lengthy instrumental, which was nice, you know, because you want to highlight the music, you want to show off the music, and then as well as the rest of, you know, Ari's vocals as well. But so tell me a little bit, how did this project come together? How do you guys know each other?
Well, do you want to start, Rocky? I think you messaged me, right?
Yeah, I did. And I had just seen on one of the local Boise Facebook music pages that somebody had a really, I believe it was Sunblood Stories, another local band here, had just posted a music video with this podcast. And so I just messaged them because I thought I wanted us to be on it too. So I just messaged them out of the blue and said, hey, we're another local band. We'd love to be on your podcast and do a show. And we just started playing together in August for this project. And so we just needed some content, you know, we just needed some videos and just wanted to meet other creative people and get more into the music community here.
Where are you guys?
That's really where it started.
Where are you guys located?
Well, we're just here in Boise.
Okay, you're in Boise, and then LowerGentry is in Nampa, which is just
it's right next to Boise, basically. It's just down the road.
It's just west of Boise, right? And so tell us about your kind of, I know you guys are slowly building a media, empire in the Magic Valley. Tell me about this component of your media empire.
Well, I have a spare room in my house that we converted into a recording studio. We love the NPR Tiny Desk series, and so Boise has an abnormally high level of quality musicians for the population, I think. There's just a tremendous amount of awesome bands in this area. And so we had a relationship with the first group that we brought on, which was Sunblood Stories. And so we recorded them. It was safe. They let us test out the equipment that we needed to purchase to make sure that we could record a full band inside this little room. And then after that, this was last November, and we were able to get people. We wanted to do one group a month. We want to record one group a month, and it was really going pretty amazingly until COVID hit. But it's just a lot of fun. We love music, and so it's nice to bring musicians in and add the video aspect to that as well.
Yeah, you definitely have a passion for music. I mean, it's evident in your kind of not only your personal life, but in your professional life as well. You know what struck me as interesting was we've actually had this conversation before about how Boise is really such a great arts city, and so is Twin Falls to a large degree. You know, I like to think of Austin, Texas as the Boise South, you know, like I feel like it's really got the same vibe, like the creativity and just kind of, but most importantly, the community support, which is so important. So Helium Shelium, you said you started performing in August of 2019, correct? And then you shot this in November. And then now you've probably just recording at home. And I mean, it's so much harder to make content now, right?
A lot of live streams, which is fun, but it's definitely not the same as,
Yeah.
yeah. We were getting a lot of momentum, like the beginning of this year, and so when COVID hit, it was really sad.
Yeah, because we started working on our first album, which we were hoping to release in the summer, and then everything happened, and it's going to be a 9-song like full album that we're going to cut here. All the songs are written, they're all arranged, like I think 7 of them are recorded fully, and so we're just really close, but then also we're just not an established band, so we don't have any rush to make it, because we know we're only selling it to family and friends. We know that most of our sales are going to be at our shows, which are consistent right now.
Yeah, and I feel like your shows, I'm you know, you get the sense just from the video of your personalities, and like Rocky is like a dance machine, you know, and like, so it's crazy. You can only imagine how your live show would be a lot of fun. And you know, I like the vibe. It's kind of throwback, but it's new, you know, so it's a nice kind of mix of genre. So yeah.
They definitely
So it
win
was
over
really fun.
everyone in the room. When they play live, they win over everybody in the room, even the people that
Yeah.
don't, like, that aren't even really into like 80s style synth stuff. They're just like, but that was pretty cool. Like I'm into that, you know.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
The vibe is very fun, and it's very bubbly, and it's very, you know, it's very infectious. So Chuck, you were behind. Oh no, Chuck, you were sound, and Elliot, you were behind the camera.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really like it's been pretty fun doing bands, and especially bands like Helium Shelium, because literally all you have to do is just kind of point the camera and like make sure that they're in focus, which, you know, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like,
But did you do
the visual element is just like basically they brought everything, because they were wearing crazy shoes and they were like glitter and like all this other stuff. They like brought like a whole like Broadway show, and they just point the camera, and it's like, wow, this is visually interesting, you know?
Well, sure, but that's like that's like a traditional 3 camera. I mean, like you have the editor has to make the choices, like, because you start out panning on Ari, you know, midriff up, and then like there was that shot of the platform shoes. So, you know, I mean, obviously those are choices, and notwithstanding the talent you had, you know, you still had to make those choices to make the video cohesive.
Yeah, I think we watched a bunch of before we started doing, especially Sunblood Stories, before we started bringing the bands in, we watched a bunch of like kind of the classic live performance documentaries, like the Stop Making Sense, and then the one with the band that Martin Scorsese did. And then they typically follow camera movements off of they follow camera movements to the music, but then they also don't over edit it, which I've been trying to work on, where you don't want to like constantly cut back and forth, like, and then because it kind of distracts. So we try to keep it as stately as possible, but sometimes, especially because it's like live in the moment, they only played that song once and then they played another song. So like you try not to get too like crazy with the zooms and stuff, but then sometimes maybe you get a little too crazy.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good that was really only one take. And so then I was going to ask if you did the sound separately, but obviously you didn't. So.
Yeah, we just hit record and roll, and then sync everything up in post. And we actually had our friend Colin Inslee helped us out on this video.
Oh yeah, Colin was there. Sorry, Colin, if you watched this, you were there as well.
No, we got it covered. We covered him. Yeah, so he was running one of the cameras on a tripod. Then we had 2 other cameras set up just stationary, and then Elliot ran around the room.
Stuff. And then another thing about the sound, though, because Charles was just tapping into Rocky's, because Rocky mixes all of that live. That's not.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's not like, it's not like he comes with like he just presses play. He's mixing that. You can kind of see it like in the video of him like playing the parts and then looping them. So literally like this was, I'm sure, I don't want to tell Charles what his job is, but I'm sure it was really easy for Charles because literally all he had to do was just like tap into his laptop and into his mixer, and then it was like done.
Yeah, first I thought Rocky was playing Pokemon Go because he was like, but then I was like, oh, he's, then I noticed the music would change. That's the magic of music combined with the magic of filmmaking.
Yeah. Wait, you should talk about that though, Rocky, like how you mix everything live.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had this dream. So we're in a 2-bedroom apartment here in Boise because the rental prices are just terrible. The housing market is terrible right now. So we're in this 2-bedroom apartment and we're thinking of starting a band. And so it's like, well, we have to do it electronic. Like we can't have a full drum kit. We can't do the full thing. And so I got this little, I think I have it. Do I have it here? Yeah, so I did some research and I got this it's called a machine jam. And I'd done electronic music before, but and most people, the way that they do it is they'll just mix everything before, record everything before, and then just either release loops or push play. And I'd done that before and it wasn't really rewarding because it didn't feel like you were playing music when you were doing it live. It missed that live element. And so I told Ari, I said, I think I want to just loop everything live, like play everything in real time. And she just is like, why? That's just the dumbest thing in the world. I'm like, no, but I have this dream. And so it's like, I don't know. And there's not really anybody else that's really doing it. So I just had to kind of learn how to do it and just a ton of practicing, like just hours and hours to get it all right, because it's sometimes the turns are, I have 2 beats in a measure to play the next sound and record it and loop it. And if I mess up, then it's looped that way for the next 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And as we're writing new songs, it's interesting because it's almost a creative limitation, right? Because it's like, and that's why that opening is so long. I have to build every loop as it goes and keep it going. And so it has more of that electronic, almost EDM feel because I have to wait for the measure to go through, So like Priorities is an 8-measure loop. And so I have to wait for it to go through that 8 measure to play the next part. But it's really interesting because Ari will come up with some musical idea and be like, I really want to do this. And I'm like, I don't know if I can. So then it's almost like I have to recreate and learn how to play the instrument. It actually feels like an instrument at that point because
I think
all these tricks. Yeah.
I think in traditional instruments, like you do have that ability to improvise, while you're playing. I mean, that's what jazz is, right? And then with the collaboration, I mean, it's only going to get richer and better as you continue. And I think it's like, this take of Priorities versus the next 10 takes, they're all going to be slightly different, but you already have a bank of like, how it kind of sounds. And then you're constantly improving, and maybe even having a misstep, but that makes that performance even more unique. Yeah. So yeah, I actually did not put the technical aspect together until you just mentioned it. So I'm glad you brought that up, Chuck. But I have seen one other person do something similar in a live show, but he was a beatboxer.
Yeah. And too.
So it wasn't like music per se, it was beatboxing, but it was the same principle. And so every show was different. Yeah. Great. Well, that's exciting.
And it was energetic too, which was super fun because there were 3 of us in this tiny room. And the way that Helium Shelium performed, it's the same that you would get in front of a giant crowd. I would just love that. It felt so genuine.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that comes across too in the video too.
And do I remember somebody on the floor?
That
Like
was me.
filming from the ground.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, because it was such a small room, you can't get enough angles, and then I was trying to get out of the shot of Ari because Ari was a regular shot, so the only place I could be is just like right here, and then moving around. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to Helium Shelium, Rocky Ari. It was nice to meet you. Can't wait to see what is in the future for you, and then. You know, the Norton brothers, I will see you again soon, shortly. You've been diehard supporters of the Twin Falls Sandwiches Film Festival, of course. Unfortunately, we're not live this year. It would have been a blast to have you guys perform maybe even this year. And then, but maybe next year we'll have something. And December 18th and 19th, check back for links. Everything will be live on the 18th at noon Pacific. And then that's a wrap. Okay, thanks everyone.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Ray.